Good afternoon or evening, everyone. How are you? It's me once again, Lynette Hillian, the independent advisor, and talking about proactive protection, but in a different way. So this time, I'm going to talk about living benefits. So I'd like to kind of take a poll, if you're listening to me, which I hope you are. What are living benefits? And have you heard about what living benefits are?
All right, all right. Yes, living benefits. Okay, because yes, I want to be amongst the land of the living. I'm not trying to leave out there soon.
That's a
Yeah,
benefit by
that's
itself.
a benefit. Yes, yes.
It's a
Awesome.
benefit by itself, living. Yes.
Oh man, yes. Well, hey, look, you all. Thank you all so much for tuning in to the
Mhm.
podcast. All right, and yes, Miss Lynette Hillian, she's in the driver's seat because hey, it's her show, and so she's here to take your questions, and we have a conversation. Want you to join in on the
Mhm.
conversation as well. All right.
Mhm.
So, all right. So, yeah, you said you want to talk about living benefits or so.
Mhm.
All right. Well, I got a question on that. Okay.
Sure.
Can you give us some examples of when you say living benefits or so? Um,
Okay. And I'm sure that's what other people are thinking. What are living benefits? What are those? You know what benefits are because if you're employed, you get certain benefits.
mm-hmm.
So, living benefits, for example, are in cases, let's say, where you have a critical, a chronic, or terminal illness.
Mm,
So, as I said previously, we're all living longer. And so, this is a way for you to tap into your policy amount if you have a
mm-hmm.
critical, chronic, or terminal illness. Now, of course, there would have to be a licensed professional that would say that you're not able to do whatever the criteria is. And that's how you would be able to access that. And it's a percentage, it's not the entire amount, unless it's a terminal illness.
Uh-huh. Okay. So basically, yeah, critical, terminal, and chronic, correct? Or
Yes.
is it?
So I can define each of those if you like.
Sure. Yes.
I'll
Exactly.
define those because people are like, well, what is terminal? What? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So based on it, a terminal illness in general means that you've been diagnosed with an illness
Mm-hmm.
um, or medical condition that you may live 12 months or less.
Mm,
So it's terminal. This can be, less, you have less than a year or less. So that's what terminal is.
mm-hmm.
Now, chronic in general is you've been certified by licensed health practitioner as unable to perform two of six activities. So dealing with your daily living, such as bathing, dressing, eating, toiletry, things of that nature, without any assistance. So you're not able to do those things. You're not able to do them.
Oh. Okay.
Okay. So that's what your chronic is, chronic illness.
Got you.
Okay. Now, so terminal, remember, is less than 12 months or less
12
in
months or
terms of
less.
expected to live. Okay. So that's
Mm-hmm.
that. Now, chronic, we did chronic, we did
Right.
terminal. Now it's critical. Okay.
Mm,
So it means you've been diagnosed by a physician with a health condition such as a heart attack, stroke, cancer, first coronary artery bypass, central nervous disease. So that's why it's critical. That's critical because in terms of we're thinking about, stroke, cancer, heart attack, those are critical. Those
mm-hmm.
events are very critical to your well-being. So that in terms of those are the differences between the three.
Uh-huh. Wow. Wow. Man, and just hearing the sound of those, yeah, it's kind of like, all right, yeah, we all dread ever going or
Right,
having a loved one going to that moment.
right,
Yeah,
right,
again, it's, just thought about with my mom and all that and things. So,
right, right.
um, wow, okay, so then, all right, and see if you can answer this. All right, when it, I guess for us with the living benefits or
Mhm.
so. All right, is that how is that versus long term care? So, or is it pretty much the same thing?
No, there are differences between those. Long-term care is that's something
Mhm.
separate from
Okay.
the three living benefits. Not saying it's
Okay.
something that you cannot that it cannot be purchased. Now that's something I don't like. If someone wanted long-term care, that's something I could not actually sit down and necessarily talk with them about that. Again, that
Okay.
requires a health license. So, so
Uh-huh.
there are different licenses we have to have. But in general, in terms of to really get into it, if someone was really interested in that,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Yeah. Okay. So that's two separate things. Gotcha. Okay.
right, right, they are. They're not the same. They're not the
Hmm.
same because there's certain criteria for the long-term care
Okay. So
as
I'm just
well.
so I'm wondering for us with the proactive insurance, I mean, excuse me, the proactive protection, where
Mhm,
with the living benefits,
mhm.
um, is it the reason? Well, I guess will the money ever run out compared to you know like the Social Security and all the other things? Because I think that's when people pretty much end up pulling the plug or so because they don't have the
Right.
finances for it.
Well, it also
So
depends on your face amount of your particular option or your policy. That's what it depends
okay,
upon.
yeah,
And so that's why it's important, if people qualify for this particular option that I'm referring to, and it varies between carriers, so it just really depends on
okay,
which carrier is offering those particular benefits. But it it's essential. It really is. I have living benefits.
please. Same
It's
here.
essential. I have it.
Hmm.
Because now I'm fine. Everything is, but you don't know what tomorrow brings. And
Right.
so I talk about living benefits because, again, I continue to say we're living longer. And so
Yes.
because we're
Love it.
living longer, we have to be proactive about, well, I don't know what's going to happen in the future. However, I know that if should I need it, it is there for me. And again,
Awesome.
you'd have to qualify for it or be approved for it. But we can't do that without a needs analysis, depending on what it is exactly in terms of how much you may need. What would be the actual, what fits your need best.
Wow.
So, and in terms of that, we go from there.
Hmm.
Yeah. So that, like I said, they're not the same thing. And that's a very good question because people often say, well, I hear these terms and people are saying all these terms, but I don't know what they mean.
Hmm.
So, like I said, long-term care, that's in terms of being separate. They're not the same thing per se.
Okay. All right. And
Mhm.
I guess does again and again answer the best way that you can. Does
Mhm.
every company carry living benefits, or you have to find that out for yourself? You have to go
It,
shopping around.
it's No, it depends. It depends on which, carrier. They will tell you pretty much, what it is they have to offer you. And
Okay.
so, one of the companies that I actually have my living benefits with, you know, I actually knew that that's what and that was what I was explained to me when I went and I
Hmm.
was actually talking with my my independent advisor because I'm his client. So, and me asking, those questions, and is this an option for me? And what does that mean? Or what specific amount is best for me based on, and that's, he said we need to do a needs analysis first. We have to do that first, financial needs
Hmm.
analysis. So I can't, like I said before, just can't look at people and say that this is the actual amount that this is what you need. Well, we don't know because we have not talked. And that's why it's important to communicate as much as
Right.
possible. But they will tell you which one is offered with. So I knew it with the particular option I had. I knew that it had living benefits. So it's, yeah, you will definitely know it.
Right.
You'll definitely
Oh,
know it.
wow. Okay. All right. Again, if you're just tuning in, all right, go ahead and scan the QR code for more information. Alrighty. And again, Miss Hillian, she just wants to get your information, to have a conversation with
Mhm,
you. All right.
mhm,
It's just that simple, or just simply call her up. All right. There's her information right there. Again, we're talking
mhm,
about living benefits right here on the
mhm,
Proactive Protection Podcast. Okay. Because
mhm,
again, knowledge is power, or use knowledge is power. And
mhm,
I know you said something earlier about, for us, a lot of folks don't really know the terms, for
mhm.
some terminologies and things like that. And I believe that's what kind of throws people off
I
or
think so
hesitant
too.
about it.
I think so
Wow.
because they don't want to talk about that. They think, that we all experience different things in our lives for whatever reason. But
Hmm.
again, that's why we should proactively respond to it now, so that we do have, if we do have a chronic or critical or terminal illness, we do have a source that we can actually draw from, instead of drawing from other types of, um, if we have some type of other retirement plan or things of that nature, because depending on what the circumstances are, there could be some fees associated.
Hmm.
So I mean, there are going to be some as well with this too, but it may be, I don't know, it just depends on which option you have. So I can't really say, if I have this particular option, then there's not going to be a penalty. I can't really say that without knowing exactly what someone has. But so this gives you an option. This is an option for you.
Oh,
And my thing is about always expand your options.
expand your
Always.
option.
Like always expand your options so that you have more than one source to pull from should you need it. If you
Okay.
don't, I mean, you don't need it then, but at least it's there. And that's what's important.
That's so I can get as many policies as I want, if that's possible.
Well, how many policies do you think you would need? Why more than one?
Hmm.
Just
Just
asking.
just I guess I'm just thinking in the mindset, folks was like, well, hey, as long as I get, hey, I have enough money coming in, make sure I'm not running out or so, in case we get to that point of our lives, and we'll be covered financially, and um until we're completely healed. Yes.
Well, I mean, it's, and also with limited benefits. Let me also say this though. When you're tapping into whatever that particular face amount, or what if it's 100,000 or whatever the quantity is for that particular policy. Also
Hmm.
remember, when you tap into those living benefits, it decreases what would be given to your beneficiaries. So depending
Uh,
on how much of that you use, your beneficiaries, I mean, that would be decreased. So it's not you just tapping into it and it stays, but you're actually saying, this is I have a condition and I'm in need of this now in order to sustain and protect my, financially protect my family.
yeah.
And so
Okay.
at some point, there's amount, it's based on the amount that you have. So it's not endless, but
Hmm.
it's better than not having anything, and then you don't have
Hmm.
anything to draw from.
Gotcha. All right. Well, again, I was just thinking, for us, again, if you get more than one, say again, get three policies worth $100,000, that's $300,000 total that you could use. So, and again, it's coming still out of your account.
I would say, why three separate
Hmm.
policies? Are you getting them at three separate, trying to get them three separate times or one time? Why not see if you can
Uh,
get, if that's what your need is. Let's say your need is that,
oh,
and 300,000
okay.
is your need. Then why not have
So
it
I do three
in
separate ones. Just have just one
yes,
policy. All
just
right.
have
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
one.
All right. So then I guess that brings my next question. Then, well, so then, based upon our needs analysis, we could ask or get as much as we want.
It depends, and again, it depends on, there's always certain qualifiers. So
Right.
depending on, it could be age, it just
Mhm.
depends because there's certain caps in certain places. So,
Right.
based on that particular carrier, it just depends on what they say. You'll be able to, possibly get a policy for this amount, up to this amount. And then there's some qualifiers. Like if you want to up to this amount, and that's what you once you fill out the whole app, we have the needs analysis, we determine your need, we submit an application for you because again, it has to be approved. And when I say approved or qualified, that's what I mean. That
Hmm.
means we submit an application and then the underwriters make an informed decision based on our conversation and some other documentation that may be required or requested. And then
Gotcha.
we go from there. So, people, when say living benefits, I mean, I'm all for them. I am.
Hmm.
And I have them. I do. I have two policies and I have them on both.
All right, awesome. Wow. Again, we're having a conversation with Lynette Hillian, all right, with the Proactive Podcast. So feel
Mhm.
free to, excuse me, Proactive Protection Podcast. So feel free to join in on the conversation. I don't have to be the only one asking questions or so, but hey, yeah, we
It's
love to
okay.
hear from you.
Yeah, it's what
Yeah.
people want. I mean, I'm sure what you're asking, people want to know. So did I
Mhm.
answered your question? I
Yes.
hope I
Yes,
did
ma'am.
advance. Okay, I wanted to make sure that I answered your
Yeah.
question. Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's a great area that a lot of folks, when it comes to protection,
Mhm.
being proactive and things, are
Mhm.
just like, okay,
Mhm.
they just don't understand, and they just say, well, I just
Right.
get it from my job or whatever. But there's a lot more to it, and instead of paying out all this money, yeah, go ahead.
Well, let me say this. I have a policy with my job.
Hmm.
Okay. But I also have a policies, should I say, that are separate from my job,
Yeah.
from my full-time job. Reason being is that there have been several instances that have been brought to my attention about we do have. I'm not saying don't have it with your job. That's not what I'm saying. So I don't want anybody to say she's saying I need to cancel my policy. Right? That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that at all. I have one. I just said I have one with my job. Actually, yeah, I have one with. Actually, I have two with my job. I have two. Okay.
Hmm.
So I'm not saying cancel those. That's not what I'm saying to you. What I'm saying is that should you decide that you want to, there's a job you want to apply for. And so if you were to apply for that job, are you able to take that policy with you?
Mm.
Because are you the owner of the policy or is your employer the owner of the policy? That would be your employer because it's offered through them. So
Hmm.
and because they're doing it at a group, there's a group rate that they're able to, and so that's why they're able to offer it to you.
Right.
But if you sever your ties from them, it's no longer a group rate. So,
Mm.
so then
Mm.
that's why it's important that you also have one independent of your job because
Okay.
there was something brought to my attention where there was a woman, she was with this particular company for years. She had, I mean, her policy is probably like, I mean, it was six figures. The company decided that they no longer wanted to offer life insurance or proactive protection. I'm sorry, proactive protection as a benefit. So she had been with that company for years. And now she's 20 years older. And so now she would try to get a policy or some type of proactive protection at that time. So that's the other reason I say you have to do it as soon as possible. The sooner you do it, the
Hmm.
better. And have one separate from your job, not to take away. And I didn't say get rid of. That's not what I'm saying. Lynette is not saying get rid of one with your job. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying think about if you decide that you want to embark on another opportunity, and that's the only proactive protection you have. What will you have when you leave? And some may say, "Well, I'll just get it from the other job." And yeah, that's true. You can. But my thing is this: why have to just depend on that? Why not have something set outside of? So if you do need to tap into it, that you may be able to do that with this particular option. So, or with another option. So that I just believe in giving people choices, but just because something you have to think about.
Uh-huh. Wow. So technically we don't necessarily say we went to a new job. We don't
Mhm.
necessarily have to take their insurance if we don't want to.
The life insurance or the proactive protection,
Right. Proactive. Right. Uh-huh.
you don't necessarily have to. I mean, that's totally up to you. That's an individual
Right.
decision. I'm not going to tell you not to, but what I'm saying is, I just want you to look at, I just want you to consider everything. Consider
Hmm.
everything. What do you already have? Is there a life event that's occurred? Have you got, you're
Right.
married, remarried, divorced? There's been a birth of a child, adoption of a child. There's different life events.
Right.
And what you initially had, in terms of your amount, you may need to increase that because or you may need to increase it because there's life changes that have occurred,
And life is definitely always changing. Yes.
changing all the time. That's the only thing constant
Right.
is change. That's it. Nothing else.
Yeah. That's good.
Nothing else stays the
That-
same. But
that's why
that,
we have to be proactive. Hey.
exactly. That's
Gotta
exactly
be
correct.
proactive.
You have to be
Wow.
proactive.
Again, this is the proactive protection podcast. Feel free to join in on the conversation. Hey,
Mhm,
again, you want to contact Lynette Hillian right there. There's a telephone number, as well
mhm,
as go ahead and scan the QR code. All right, scan it right there. All it is, she's going to ask you for some information. Y'all will have a conversation.
mhm,
Just that simple. All right,
mhm.
because we definitely need to talk about, again, being protective, starting early. Yeah, go ahead. Is something that you want to add to, for example, for living benefits, since that is our subject.
I think that that's pretty much. I think I've cleared up in general what it
Hmm.
is, and that how that impacts if you qualify for a particular option, and you do say, well, I need to tap into for critical illness or chronic illness.
Hmm.
It will decrease the amount of that you have for your policy. It will decrease that if you tap into it, and it's not like you can tap into it all the time. There's certain guidelines, as there is with everything.
Okay.
So,
All right.
mhm.
I thought of another question. That
Sure.
is living benefits. Is that the same as cash value? Again, if you know it or not, you know.
Living benefits taps into your the value of your policy. So,
Okay.
depending on if you now cash value, you can build that up if that's that option that you have, and that would be with permanent insurance.
Okay.
So that would be your whole life, as an
Okay.
example. Okay, versus your term. Now, some carriers do have term policies with living benefits.
Hmm.
So it just depends on the carrier. So it's not
Wow.
always, with that being said, now that may give you more access to more if you do have a cash accumulation with a permanent policy and you have living benefits versus if you
Hmm.
have a term policy. A term policy, there is no cash accumulation whatsoever. And that's why it's called term.
Gotcha.
In a certain period of
Right.
time.
Correct. Gotcha. Okay. Well, hey, yeah, hey, because man,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
yes.
yeah.
Some of us want to definitely get to that money. It's like, they just and again, it's all about a mindset. You have to
Right.
change your mindset on how you view things. And
Right.
I know we want the here and now, and so because we're thinking about consuming other stuff, and it's
Right.
yeah, yeah, you have to learn how to change your mindset. I would say that. All right.
Right. Right. You definitely do. It's a change. It's a mindset. It's a mindset shift.
Mindset
You
shift.
have to
Yes,
shift it. You're gonna have
man.
you have. I mean, I know it's difficult because of things that people might have said to us about what proactive protection is. You'll be all right. You don't. But my thing is this: I try to plan for the unexpected.
Mm-hmm.
because then if I don't, then how's that going to impact my family? So I'm not just doing it for me. I'm doing it for those that love me and whom I love and care about.
Mm-hmm. Right. Right.
Without putting a whole lot of strain on them. I don't want to do that.
Right. There's a saying what it's better to need it. I mean, it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not
Exactly.
have it.
Exactly.
And yeah,
Exactly.
that is
It's
so
important.
true. That
It's
and
very important.
um, I'm wondering if you could even claim that on your, I guess, the payments on your taxes or so every year, or or no, it doesn't work that way. Then okay,
No, sorry.
okay.
What are we claiming?
Well, I guess because you're putting money. Well, you're paying to this company and such, and that. Yeah, again, I'm just thinking off the top of my head
Well,
for
I'm not a tax
as a
professional, so I can't
uh,
I
right.
can't really say I've never heard of
Mm-hmm.
that. You being able to do that. So I don't
Gotcha.
I'm gonna, I'm not a tax professional. I'm not. So I'm not even gonna claim that one.
Hey, definitely
So
stay in your lane, like you said.
I stay in my lane because
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
not no, no,
yeah.
no. I can't really say because I don't
Mhm.
advise on taxes.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Hey.
um,
Yeah.
but no, I would say claiming, I'm trying to say you're claiming. So it's the same thing though. Like if I'm
Mm-hmm.
considered as saving, if I'm saving, but when I go
Mm-hmm.
to a bank, I mean, I'm saving money there too, but I'm not
Right.
able to, if I'm putting money in, I'm not able to claim that on my taxes as well. Now, and
Right.
that is a
Yeah.
deduction. I cannot do that. Dividend, that's different. Now,
Mm-hmm.
again, I'm not a what you would call a tax advisor, so I could not advise as to where to go from there. But I would say this based on I have a like I said, like I have a policy myself, proactive protection policy, and I have not encountered that at all.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's I'm saying that is one who has one.
Gotcha.
But I don't
Gotcha.
believe that's so. I don't believe that's so. But like I said, I'm not a tax professional. That's not what I do. And I go to a tax professional when it's time for my taxes. So,
Mm-hmm.
so no, I can't, when it comes to being an independent advisor to help you proactively plan, I can help you with that. When it comes to taxes, that is not me. I'm
Hey,
not a tax
understandably.
advisor.
Awesome. So Lynette,
Good
can you
question.
name? Thank you, appreciate it. Can you name all the states that you are certified in as a proactive protection
I am
specialist?
certified. Would you say?
I said as a proactive protection specialist.
Okay, so let me start with Virginia. Virginia is my resident state. So yes, Virginia, North Carolina, Texas, Georgia, and Maryland.
Okay, all right. So again, if you all are in need of our services and to help you through being proactively protected, go ahead. Feel
Mhm,
free to contact her. All right, there's the information right there. Okay, or yeah, you can go ahead and scan the QR code that's up there to the right. All
mhm,
right, or I mean, all right, your left, and yes, just just fill it out. And if you may be watching this broadcast, a rebroadcast of this, all right. Again, we encourage you to definitely go and contact her because she's here to help. All right, not here to sell you anything, just here to listen to your needs, and then you all just take it from there. All right,
mhm. Information is
man,
power.
information is power.
It's
Exactly.
power. Yes. Mhm.
You know, so make that power work for you. Okay, hey, it
Exactly.
starts with the first step.
Exactly. Exactly.
All
Help
right,
me help you.
that's
As
right.
I said last week, help me help you.
That's
That's what
it.
I'm here for. To help you.
Right, you have to be proactive and wanting her to help you.
Exactly.
Right. Wow. Well, Lynette, wow, time is flying by. Hey, any
Yes.
words that you want to say concerning living benefits? Anything else you want to elaborate on there?
So with living benefits, of course, as I've said before, it's something that you would have to, qualify for. And it depends on what the carriers are offering. When I say carriers, those are companies who are offering you particular options for a policy, whether it's whole life or what have you. But again, it's something to ask more questions about. And that's what I'm here for. To
It
help
is.
you navigate those questions, or you might not, maybe you need a little further explanation of what living benefits are and how they can work for you and your family.
There you go. Exactly. Hey, learn about living benefits. All right, because again, information is power.
It
All right.
is.
And again, a lot of us, we don't know certain things because we're afraid to step out and ask, and
Mhm,
or we just going by what someone else said. But
mhm,
come get professional help. All right.
mhm,
So scan that QR code up there, or else
mhm.
just simply give her a call. All right. There's the number right
Yeah.
there. If you want to learn more about living benefits.
Mhm,
Again, she's not selling you anything, just teaching you,
mhm.
and then you make your decision from there.
Exactly.
All right.
Mhm.
Living benefits. All right. Well, hey, Lynette. Hey,
Mhm.
again, thank you so much. We definitely
You're
enjoy
welcome.
your podcast, and just pray that again, folks that you all out there get in contact with her. All right, she. This is part of her like her ministry, and wants to help people, and
Mhm,
you all, and I mean, because again, we have to be prepared because tomorrow's not promised to nobody.
mhm.
All
It is
right.
not.
All right. Well, hey, you want to take us on out there? Hey.
I just want to thank everyone for, being supportive, and I see that people view it, even if they don't view it live. I appreciate that because this will help prepare you and your families. And that, as I said before, that is my drive to help you. So I look forward to seeing you next week for another critical discussion and very crucial to your livelihood. So I will see you next week.
All right, awesome. Hey, you all have a blessed one now.